So we're going to talk about how to make an assertive request. But first, let's take a look at how 3 different characters handle conflict situations.
California, Tango Delta 629, tow for impoundment. Any unit, please respond.
Perfect. Just perfect.
I can't believe you loaned me your car without telling me it had a blind spot.
Blind spot.
I could have been killed.
Now, Biff, I never noticed that the car had any blind spot before when I would drive it. Hi, son.
But what are you, blind, McFly? It's there. How else do you explain that wreck out there?
Now, Biff, can I assume that your insurance is going to pay for the damage?
My insurance. It's your car. Your insurance should pay for it. I want to know who's going to pay for this. I spilled beer all over when that car smashed into me. Who's going to pay my cleaning bill? And where's my reports?
Well, I haven't finished those up yet, but I figured since they weren't due till...
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Think, McFly.
Right.
Think. I gotta have time to get them retyped.
Yeah.
Do you realize what would happen if I handed my reports in your handwriting? I'll get fired. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you? Would you?
Of course not, Biff. No, I wouldn't want that to happen. Now, look, I'll finish those reports on up tonight, and we'll run them on over first thing tomorrow, all right?
Hey, not too early. I sleep in Saturday. Oh, McFly, your shoes untied.
Oh.
Don't be so gullible, McFly. Got the place fixed up nice, though, McFly. Hey, I have your car towed all the way to your house, and all you got for me is a light beer? What are you looking at, butthead? Say hi to your mom for me.
I know what you're gonna say, son. And you're right. You're right.
So let's contrast Marty McFly and how he handles a conflict situation with the next character.
If I can help somebody as I go,
Finally.
as I go,
Thanks. Been out here all day.
if I can show somebody that they're traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain.
Excuse me, I was waiting for that space.
Yeah? Tough. Face it, lady, we're younger and faster.
Tawanda.
Face it, girls. I'm older and I have more insurance.
And then there's the next couple.
The key to a great relationship is control.
Control is the thread that keeps your relationship together. And we found that being passive aggressive is the best way to control your partner. I thought we could do something together today. Maybe go to the beach?
Not interested.
Or we could stay in and watch a movie if the beach doesn't appeal to you. When Amber won't talk to me, she really helps me learn that I did something wrong. And because she won't tell me what I did that was wrong, deep down I just assume that I'm simply wrong for who I am at the core of my being.
When I give JP the cold shoulder, it's encouragement for him to be a better person, because I don't really like who he is.
Oh, thank you for cleaning the kitchen for once.
JP shares so much gratitude with me through his snarky comments, and at the same time he shames me a lot. He is so good at directly communicating his thoughts with me with misdirected shame.
She deserves it.
I've decided I want to write a book. I'm so excited.
You've never written anything before, so you're not going to get picked up by a publisher.
JP's criticisms of my ambitions reminds me that I'm not enough of a person to fulfill my own hopes and dreams.
Yeah, Amber's dreams have no place in our relationship because they threaten my ability to control her.
Oh, I feel so loved when you control me.
Couples who control each other stay together.
I've made it to the gym 3 times this week.
That's really good. I didn't think you'd be able to get yourself to go at all. I use a compliment to slightly disguise my harsh criticism of Amber, and I have lots of it because I don't have any respect for her.
And I don't have any respect for myself either. That's why I'm with JP. We're a perfect match.
Oh, I talked to Drew this morning. He said he and Jillian are going to the Bahamas for a week.
Well, maybe if you made more money, we could go on a trip like that. I have a lot of expectations that JP will never be able to meet. And he deserves the opportunity to feel hurt about not living up to my impossible standards.
Amber feels empty inside because of her daddy issues from childhood, and I'd much rather have her hurt me rather than feeling her own hurt. And I think that by putting up with her emotional abuse, eventually I'll be able to rescue her.
You're my knight in shining armor.
All right, so clearly we have 3 different approaches to dealing with conflict. And if you take a look at this chart, we can see clearly that Marty McFly falls into the passive category. He was submissive and compliant, very shy, non-assertive. You could even see it in his body language. And then we have the next character, which is from the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. And at first she seems a little beat down, but then she seems to get her head up. She's smiling. I would say, however, she's in the aggressive category. She actually rammed into their car, clearly not the best approach. So we have passive, we have aggressive, and then in the third category, we had passive aggressive, which is really just aggressive disguised. So what we want to know is what's the middle ground, and that would be assertiveness. We don't have to be passive, and we don't have to stomp on somebody else to get our needs met. The middle ground is called assertiveness, and it's very difficult for many of us because the extremes are where we're more comfortable. So today we're going to learn one strategy in how we can make a request of someone else, protect possibly a difficult situation or something that brings us a little anxiety having to talk about a conflict or confrontation. And so all you're going to have to remember are these letters: E, R, P, G, and S. So I'm going to walk through a hypothetical situation with you and talk about how I would approach this other person using this method, and then we'll give you a chance to come up with some of your own examples. So the first step is empathy, and this is showing a true understanding of the other person. So in our scenario, you have a roommate who works late, comes home, makes a mess in the kitchen, and goes right to bed. And so you wake up every morning to a messy kitchen. You need to talk to your roommate. So let's start with the empathy step. You might say something like, hey, I know that you've been working a lot of late shifts. You come home hungry and exhausted. So notice we're not saying, hey, slob, you need to clean up your crap. We're starting with empathy, genuine empathy. That's important. None of this can be faked, or then it becomes manipulative and people will see right through that. Then I want to note something that I respect genuinely about this other person. Again, I want to be very clear that I am not trying to attack them in any way. So for my roommate, you're a great roommate. I'm so glad that we get along well. I've had some nightmares in the past, and so I really appreciate you as a roommate. Then, and only then, once we've kind of calmed the waters and we have not created defensiveness in the other person, then we're ready to approach the problem. But we're going to phrase it very specifically. We're going to use the I statements that we have talked about. We are not going to blame. We are going to be very specific about what it is that we have a problem with, how it affects us, and if at all possible, sometimes it helps if you enlist the other person's help. So here's our approach in our roommate situation. I could really use your help with something. When I wake up to a kitchen full of dirty dishes, it stresses me out. I feel like I'm expected to clean them. So this is good. I haven't blamed the other person. I've said, look, I feel stressed when I have a kitchen full of dishes. However, many of us stop right here. We get that problem out there and we just wait. And the roommate might very well respond, oh, gosh, I don't expect you to clean them up. And he walks off back to his room. And that leaves us with the same problem as before, because we didn't get to a really important step, which is goal. What is it you would like to see the other person do? Give options if that's a possibility. So let's try that here. So I was thinking maybe you could just use paper plates and clean up everything before you go to bed. Or you know what, if you just left me a note saying, hey, I'll be up around 11 and I'm going to clean these, don't worry, then I wouldn't feel obligated to take care of it. So I've given them a couple of suggestions. I would be open to their ideas. And the final step is really just kind of solidifying what you guys talked about. And so that is the summary. So we agree you're just going to use paper plates. Cool. And there you go. Conflict situation averted. So here's what I want you to do. In D2L, there is the assignment, the Erpg method. And I want you to think of 2 different situations in which you wish you had been or could be more assertive. And I would like you to simply script your reaction using this method. And that is all for today.